For some people, they choose a path that has already been walked, whereas some choose the difficult challenge of cutting their own. For MIA, they have taken on the difficult journey and cut their own trail, but along the way they were rewarded, and that reward was UX, which has now been enjoyed by hundreds of Airsoft players. But like all good things, they must come to an end, so we take the opportunity to sit down and reflect on this unique Airsoft field. Special Effects would like to welcome Benno to the podcast.
So it's either going to hit you hard or really hard. Cool.
Yeah. So thanks for sitting down, Benno, and taking the opportunity in the middle of the last MIA UX event.
It's all right, Benno.
Yeah, and I'm obviously super stoked to be here as well. So like I was saying before, it's currently lunchtime. So it's still in the middle of the event, but this is the last time that we're all going to be at the UX site, so it's just thought it would be a really good opportunity to sit down with you and take a moment just to kind of reflect on it at the site. And our backdrop is one of the UX buildings.
Interesting artwork.
Yeah. The buildings are looking pretty rough these days. But so there's obviously key people involved with making UX available for the Airsoft community. So so there would have been a moment where UX was not even on the cards, and then the day that it even became an idea. So how did that come about?
Yeah, so with MIA, we sort of really are field based, milsim events. And that's sort of you're right. It wasn't really on our radar. An urban field in the middle of middle of a district or area, that wasn't really on our radar. We didn't even think about it. And through key partnerships and key people, the opportunity to speak with the owners came up. And yeah, why not? We haven't had a field like this since I think Hokie, down in South Island. And I thought, well, okay, they can only say no. It was an opportunity to say, hey, look, we're currently a field-based professional milsim event producer.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any opportunity or scope to come in and play at this site that abandoned? That it was currently being used for law enforcement and emergency services. And unfortunately, because of our professionalism and the key stakeholders agreeing on terms and conditions and safety, we were able to get this really, really cool site.
Yeah. And for anyone that lives abroad, so the MIA UX event is hosted in Albany, Auckland, which is the biggest city in New Zealand, so in the North Shore of Auckland. And it's literally in the heart of Auckland.
There's literally houses surround.
The perimeter is surrounded by residential properties, and it's this is the third time I've been here now, and it's from a player standpoint, obviously for us, because we do events as well, there's we kind of have that insight into what it takes to put all this together. But I've come here and I've played as a player, and you kind of have those moments because these sites in New Zealand are so rare, where you're playing and then you have your moment where you look around and you just kind of soak in the fact that you are in the middle of the biggest city in New Zealand at this huge urban site where we can have hundreds of players here playing Airsoft, which is really, really unique. And but without you and your team having key people involved and like you say, bringing professionalism to the table, so you can actually sit down, talk with these people, and they take you seriously, and they go, okay, yeah, absolutely, we're happy for you to do that. You guys are squared away. Is a big feat, and an awesome thing that you guys are bringing to the table. But all good things come to an end.
Indeed.
Hence why it's so awesome to sit down and have this conversation. Did you, once you got the site and you came here, when when you stepped onto the site for the first time, like, was it like, whoa, like,
Yeah, it
this
was.
is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, I mean, because it's basically its own suburb.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got streets
Yeah,
and
street lights,
stop
and
signs.
when we came here, the buildings weren't, as you said, run down. They were fully functioning, and they were actually looking to lease those buildings out. So it was hit and miss whether we could play
Mm,
airsoft, because at the minute they leased a building, they essentially would
doesn't
we
okay.
couldn't use it. So it was like, geez, please don't lease it out.
Yeah.
We really want this site. The site was amazing. Like it was just like it had been left, and we were probably like a year later than for the site actually to been hand back to the developers, to the owners.
Hmm.
So it would have been even more pristine if you had it
Yeah.
been a year earlier, like 12 months earlier. But it was pretty awesome to have this type of site. I think they're getting rarer uh, across the skirmish community. These types of sites, particularly around the world, to be quite honest, like you're seeing a lot of your big milsims moving to dedicated facilities,
Hmm.
rather than these ad hoc
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so to capture one of them raw is pretty special.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like it's just rare in New Zealand.
Yeah,
It's just like, I've said so many times, like, we may never see another UX because the
not if I can help
yeah,
it.
yeah. And that's what we all hope, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's like, all right, UX has to come to an end. But I guess and it's, if you're anything like us, you're constantly working on things in the background, and it's like some things you kind of just can't talk about yet because they're so far from, like, being organized and signed off and things like that. But again, it's like you got to kind of put yourself out there and be constantly looking, like, oh,
yeah,
you someone say something, oh, I heard about this place and this part of the country, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like, we should look into that and see, like, because the other thing as well, and we've experienced this ourselves, is it's like you hear about a site, and it's you go to the people that you need to talk to about these sites, and it's before you even go any further, it's more of a question of, like, hey, can we come on site and just have a look to see if it works for airsoft? Because just because you've got a building or a piece of land, like, it doesn't always work for airsoft, and sometimes it feels near impossible just to have the opportunity to go, hey, look, just give us 10-15 minutes just to look around. And then if we can look at it logistically and realize that we can play airsoft here, then can we sit down and have a proper conversation about it? But not those. Sometimes those conversations are hard.
yeah, yeah. I suppose with us, we've a milsim orientated group. So I've always had a maintained principle that I've always wanted to bring reality.
Hmm.
And even if the site's sort of unplayable from an airsoft level, I always like to have an appreciation of the site in its real world context.
Hmm.
So a lot of airsofters will say we want multiple entries, and
Yeah.
safe zones and stuff. So from a milsim perspective, if there's only one or two entries, that's real.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
responders, your special forces guys, and even your general listed, infantry, they're given options all the time in the battlefield, and generally they're not options that you can choose. So by exposing airsofters to no options
Yeah. Hmm.
is part of the milsim. So if this, I mean, we're sitting in this office right now, and there's only two entries into it.
Yeah.
It's a bottleneck. Airsofters hate bottlenecks.
Hmm.
It's not free play.
Yeah.
So, from our point of view, when we set out to use this site, it was to create that realism. And some people get it,
Hmm.
some people don't, and the people who don't come back. And that's fine, because it's not about the game or the setup for us. It's about what we're trying to deliver by hiring this site, by leasing
Yeah.
this site.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've talked so much about a player's mindset.
Yep.
So with it doesn't matter, like, how high quality a facility, a site, a field is, it still requires the player's mindset to be right.
Yeah, they've got to imagine it,
Yeah.
because we can't simulate real war or real conflict. We're airsofting, so there is some artistic license involved in one's mind.
Yeah, and it's and the challenge is there's this impossible balance in airsoft of providing challenge for the players, but it not being too challenging that they're not enjoying it, which is impossible. And we've spoke so many times on a player's attitude. Like, you cannot guarantee every player that turns up to UX or whatever it might be will have a fun time. It's actually up to the player whether they have a fun time or not. All you can do is basically like provide the field, the facility, whatever it might be, just provide a really cool place to play airsoft. But that's you can't do more than that.
No.
And you know, like for me personally, coming to somewhere like this, it's like all I want to do is absorb as much as I can and enjoy it as much as I can, because I also understand that being here is limited. And like, you know, that's what we're doing today. This is the last ever game that's going to be hosted at UX, and it's like,
absolutely.
so, you know, if you don't put the effort in to have that right mindset, to create those positive memories, you're robbing yourself of having an amazing time.
Yeah, like we're midway through the game in the moment, and you know, we've already had the usual airsoft issues about not calling hits and all those type of things that you get on open games, right? But the focus on those players sometimes being quite narrow is that they're thinking about airsoft, right? Which is fine, because we're all here for a game, and it's a hobby and it's a sport. But at the same time, you can call out cheating at any field, any skirmish field, but stop and look where you are.
Yeah.
Right? You literally have the traffic lights with real traffic flowing directly less than 100 meters behind you.
Yeah.
And you're calling the guys cheating, right? There's a certain amount of, as you said, context that they need to maintain and say, okay, there are so many different factors than just an open field skirmish day here. You know, you've got wind from buildings, you've got hidden bushes, driveway elevations, all these things that come with UX as an urban site. And then to stop and think, okay, well, it's a different perspective because this is a different field.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel today is bittersweet because obviously everyone's realized that it's the last event here. So, you know, we've got over 250 people that have come to play at the last event, and for a New Zealand airsoft game, that's massive. And kudos to you guys for achieving that. And the reason I say it's bittersweet is because I got to come experience UX at the start when it was beautiful, as pristine. We got access to every single building. All the buildings were in perfect conditions. And now, obviously, over time, because the property hasn't been maintained and it gets broken in and people vandalize it, you know, it would have been so awesome for those players to have experienced UX at the start and get those massive numbers when you first had access to the property and it was in such good condition, versus now where it's like, you know, some of the buildings you just can't go into because they've just been absolutely trashed, and you know, that's just something that players won't experience, and it is what it is. You know, some people kind of drag their feet and went, oh shit, it's the last event.
Yeah, I think that some people are a little bit hesitant to say, well, you know, they're playing it up. Is it really like this? And then you get here and it's like, oh, it is. There are literally buildings, and I can see the general public from where I am. That this is incredible. And it all seems to be sort of safe in regards to the context of playing and being able to play legally here. That's what they experience. You know? I think to talk to your first point there, remember MIA is predominantly at Milsim, and we cater to those Milsim communities and that Milsim branding. That's not everyone's taste. So when the field was in pristine, we could have opened it up to 200 people, but we have always maintained that not only this event, but a lot of the other events we try to use, we try to go to non-traditional fields
Yeah.
that haven't been used,
Mhm.
that provide challenges to myself as an admin, but also to players. There are fields that have been used around New Zealand for almost 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
whether, before even Airsoft was Airsoft in New Zealand. And they're well known.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly put people on a different field and it's a challenge.
Mhm.
It's exciting and it's new. And that's what we see in Milsim. It has to be a challenge.
Yeah.
And UX posed one of those challenges. So while it was fresh and raw, the people who want to go through it in a procedural airsofting manner,
Mhm.
with your SOPs and your TTPs, all the military stuff, we offered that to our client or to our player base. And then once it was free, we did have that sense of community that grows in the background. It's okay. We got our mill simmers here. They had a really good time, and you were one of them.
Yeah.
Right. We slept in the buildings, and we was really, really cool.
And all our gear.
Yeah, all our gear in
Constantly
process. And
getting.
yeah. But then it's like, okay, we could have gone, okay, well, it's not for anyone else. But no, I think it's important to be proud of these sites for all the airsofters in New Zealand to come and experience it. And that's why you have 250 people. Let's go and see what the hype is,
Yeah.
South Island up to North Island just for an open skirm day weekend.
Which is like, and again, it's you can't help but appreciate that, like when people are coming a long way, and you know full well that they're spending a lot more money than say someone that's lives here in Auckland.
Yeah.
You can't help but be appreciative and like be stoked that people from the South Island are like, no, we're going to pay the money, we're going to come here, we're going to have a good time because this is our last opportunity to come to UX. But you also bring up a really good point regarding MIA, is you put a lot of emphasis into not going to well-known fields. You actually put, and I can appreciate, to create new opportunities at new fields is much harder than contacting a airsoft business or an airsoft club that has an established field, and like say some of them have been here forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be like, oh, hey, can I come use your field? And that conversation is a lot easier. No, your MIA is actively seeking out new fields and new opportunities, which is really cool, because it's giving players something completely fresh. And it also creates an environment where like you're going and there's like the unknown. Like, what is the terrain going to be like? Because no one's been there before, which I think is really, really cool. Versus like, for us, we've done a lot of events in Taranaki in a well-established field, and we know that field like the back of our hand. So it's kind of like clockwork, right? And there's like kind of like a blueprint. Like, this is how you do an event there because it's been done a million times before. Whereas MIA has taken on the challenge, not because it's not only a challenge for the players to learn this new field, for you guys logistically, you are taking on that challenge of like, hey, we're going to do this at this new field, and we're gonna give it a crack, and we're going to provide you guys, the players, with new place to play airsoft. Which I think again is really, really awesome.
Yeah, well, we're Auckland based, but this year, 2025, we haven't played one game in Auckland. This is the only Auckland game. So we've been to Christchurch. Next one for our series is Waikato, in Huntly, and we're not going to play again in Auckland this year.
Yeah.
And that's really signaling something because we really appreciate, we come from Auckland in regards to the idea came from here. The crew came from here. My team came from here. And to spread and go further out into the countryside, finding these new sites, that's the challenge. It's linking. It's not about domination and those type of things. It's about linking those sites up, and getting people to experience new sites. So if you're, say, down Waikato, go down to Canterbury, but don't play at the Canterbury sites. Go to somewhere in Canterbury that not even the Canterbury people have played at. Like that's cool.
Yeah, and and even for local players, like they've never played there before. So even though they're local, they're going to this brand new field that they've never played at. So even for them, it's new.
I've had so many messages like we say, oh, we're having this big event at this field in this area. and all my contacts are ringing me saying people are asking where the hell is this field?
Yeah.
They've been playing there for 10 years.
Yeah.
And they said, I know where are they playing? And they want to know who, when, and
did Benno
how.
get that?
How did they get that? You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, that's fine. It's come and try it. Something new. But
Yeah.
it's not a skirm. It's a mil sim.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that opens the opportunity, because I always think that if we do it right, you know, for us, there's an expectation the next time an airsoft goes, can we use that field again?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then MIA came through and they were good and they left it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Then, and the airsofters were great. So, well, yeah, no problem. You know, run your event.
You're actually also growing the whole network of people that you know and deal with, and yeah, like you say, that could have the whole flow-on effect and provide opportunities for clubs or players or whatever it might be. And like, you know, because of our understanding of running events, like, I hope that players can appreciate it is immensely challenging not only to create events outside your region. It'd be far easier for you just to do, like, Auckland's massive. You could find new fields in Auckland and be based here. And and from a logistics standpoint and a cost standpoint, it would be much more profitable for you guys to do that. But you don't. And I really hope that hey, whether you like milsims or not, I just hope that people can understand and appreciate for anyone to go outside of region and create new fields, new opportunities, create new, create new networks with people is immensely challenging, and it's expensive.
Yeah. It is expensive, not just for organisation and logistics wise, but unfortunately sometimes the players, you know, they need to pay for the availability to play at these sites. You know what I mean? Like they don't come cheap. You know, and the logistics of Christchurch was a perfect example. You know, we had to get all that admin stuff. I mean, yeah, we could have bought 15 tables, you know, 2 gazebos in Canterbury, going out, you know, down to Mitre 10 and just purchase them all. But that's a huge cost. So the only way to save that was to ship the stuff down. Yeah. And that's, again, we had a logistics company, Transport Works New Zealand, actually stepped up, and they offered to send our stuff down there at a very good price that suited our community. We were able to get our logistics and our admin stuff there. And how does that translate to the players? Well, they got water.
Yeah.
You can never go to the MIA at Canberra and go, they ran out of water.
Yeah.
It was water topped up all the time when you needed at certain respawn points. You know, all that came from Auckland. And that's a thing, is bringing that level, you're saying, to these new areas.
Yeah.
You know, and setting the standard, and it's a basic safety standard. You know, water, fire extinguisher,
basic needs,
and responsibility. You know, that's what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's what makes it so challenging, right? Because there are a lot of airsoft fields around the country that have full facilities, like the clubhouse, toilets,
absolutely.
You know, everything you need to bring basic facilities for the player to make their life a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But again, and this is why I say, like, you guys take on a massive challenge, like, oh, we need to supply players water.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're based in Auckland, but you're going to do an event down in Christchurch.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost to do that? Like, how, you know, like, and it's just, and I don't bring these up because I expect players to be thinking about this stuff all the time, but it's just like, for yourself, those are all the things you have to think about. Like, it's like, you need to put all this attention into the players and what the players want and blah 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 blah. But like, to function, especially in a milsim, which is played over, you know, your last milsim event was 40 hours. How do you sustain players out in the field for 40 hours and make sure that they have at least the basic things in the middle of nowhere? Yeah.
Well, with Christchurch, you know, the mission 1, before we even stepped off the plane or the cargo hit the deck, was, you know, 300 liters of water. You know, okay, who's got it? And the person responsible had to go out and get it, had to go and get a trailer. That's 300 liters of water straight away, and that's a minimum.
And you have to get it to site.
Have to get it
Yeah.
to site.
And what
Distribute
does
it.
that look like?
Yeah, yeah. It was all lined up, all choreographed. So refill, top up, and these are the things that take time, and they take planning.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you want to run a consistent. I think we spoke about this consistent level of event. It's important. The same briefing that I gave here, the UX side, because of its its differences and being very individual with doors and windows and is the same briefing that we've given the whole way through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've only adjusted it slightly as the gaming issues have come up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And and that's my personal experience of like coming to MIA is seeing it doesn't matter if it's the UX site or it doesn't matter if it's an outdoor venue, you can see consistencies. The gameplay is always going to be different, and that's the
That's
biggest
Airsoft.
variable.
That's
right?
Airsoft. Airsoft is the biggest variable.
Oh my god! And sometimes you're like pulling your hair out because things just go sideways, and you just got to figure it out on the spot.
Yeah.
But the other things that are within your control, like that's what that's one of your guys' things that you're trying to achieve every single time is like when you announce a new event, a player can now go, right, that's MIA event. They've just announced their new one. It's going to be played at this new location. But everything else is going to be super consistent. So that makes it really easy to understand like what a player's kind of getting himself into.
Yeah.
Or he's got some mates that have gone to MIA and they can very quickly explain to you what it is. Coming back to UX, I feel like it would be rude not
let's talk more about UX.
Not to mention the highly stressful and shitstorm on the very first day of this event at UX, which I'll let you explain, but it started with us turning up at the gate.
Yeah. So on the way, somebody noticed a dull glow, and
an orange glow.
Yeah, we always thought it was you guys, special effects, got here out there
testing
our pyro. And I'm like, rightio, I didn't really authorize that. That's all good. But in actual fact, we had a person set one of the buildings alight for whatever reason they chose to do that. Some people have conspiracy theories. Actually, Airsoft is amazing.
The Airsoft.
They actually thought that McDonald's in Albany wanted more business. So they started the fire, which deviated all the airsofters.
Yeah.
So there are literally 200 airsofters in Albany's McDonald's. Like, I don't know if that's real.
That's what they did, or they would have been wondering that day why the heck there's hundreds of people suddenly coming into McDonald's.
They were hammered, so that was a good thing. But as you're saying with the story there, somebody set light to the building. I think all organisers, all clubs have had their challenges at every single event. I'm proud to say that I'm almost certain I'm one of the first to go, we're running a game today, but we cancelled it because one of the buildings caught fire. So I think that's an achievement that we aren't really proud of. But
well, you just don't want to repeat it anytime soon.
No, anytime soon. But I think a credit to the people that support us, including Special Effects and Unlimited and all those people. They just banded together. Man the gate. Okay, let the emergency services do their bit. We interacted from a management level with the emergency services, got the site cleared.
Yeah.
And hats off to the community, because the airsofters could have stood at the gate and just bitched and moaned.
Yeah.
Right. Going, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
But it's a testament to the site, because they can see the site and go, ooh, if we can still get in there, we've come up, we want to play. And secondly, they expect good communication from me. Like some people say I'm pretty blunt, run straight up, but that's good, because this situation, they've paid money to come and play at this site. We've spruiked it. And is it on? Is it off? And if it's off, we can see why, because it was a burning building.
Yeah. But the challenge is for you. So for us that were on site, the building was well ablaze.
Well, it was.
That was not a small fire.
No.
And the problem is it involves the fire department, it involves the police department, and they are not going to tell you anything until they make the decision to decide what they're going to do about that situation. And so, you know, like everyone was in limbo waiting on them to make a call, and they could have shut the site down.
Yeah,
that could have been it. There could have been no last UX event, because the authorities made the decision to shut down the event, and thank God they didn't. But it was still hours of allowing them to come in and do their job, rightfully so. But as a event producer, like it's not every day that there's a fire when you go to run your event, but you're still trying to do your job. And like say, it was really cool that everyone came together and just kind of got to work. What can we do, Benno? You just tell us what you need. And that was awesome to see, because like, and to be fair, none of us are trained on that. We don't know how to deal with a airsoft a field that's currently on fire and the procedures for that. So it's really cool to see them just kind of kick into action. And dude, like hats off to you. I saw that situation and I just thought, oh my God, like how like Benno's going to be so stressed, and you just handled it really, really well. You just like totally cool and collected the entire time through that pretty stressful situation, really.
I think it's important for all event organizers when it goes wrong, and it does go wrong, and it probably goes wrong in different degrees at every event, is to really compartmentalize exactly what is required. And I think that goes for organizing any event, really. You know, what's the priority? The priority in this case was the authorities. First, the priority was the safety of anyone in the building. You know, and it was burning. As you know, it's like it wasn't just one of those marshmallow fires. It was it was raging. So is it safe? You know, what's it burning? You know, black smoke. It's arid. And so that's the first priority. Second priority, you listen to the authorities. Call the authorities. Listen to them. But then you've got to maintain what do the other people want from it? Well, they want a guarantee. And someone who's taking charge and knowing what they do. So we make sure players don't enter the site because it's dangerous. Is it dangerous? Oh, we don't know.
Go to McDonald's.
Go to McDonald's and get yourself a cheeseburger. And then from there, you just say, okay, what do we need to do to get this event running? Get it back on track. Now we're going to lose. We lost 4.5 hours?
Like
4 hours? Half a day?
Yeah.
Just keep people informed and let them know. And just business as usual. It's easy to say.
I know.
But at the time, it can be quite stressful. And, you know, really the first thought of when the police said, oh, well, okay, you may not be able to play today if the detectives are out doing something more important. Than just looking at an old building that burnt down. Is disappointed for the players that are to come here, whether you're from Auckland or Canterbury, you know, or anywhere in the South Island or locally, 2 minutes away. I was disappointed because we really wanted to send this place off and say, just go for it.
And if you've put all this planning in, and I hope it's another thing that that the community appreciates, is there is so much emphasis on players. Like you have, like, you know, maybe people just think that you put on events and all the rest of it, but people need to appreciate that, like, you actually think very deeply about the player and how they feel about a situation and things like that. So like, you know, that's on your shoulders too. Like, you got to deal with a building that's on fire, the police department that's suggesting that they might shut the site down, and then you've also got thinking about the players and thinking about how shit it is that all these people have come to have a good time, which you spent months planning, and it's potentially not going to happen. And thank God it did. And I'm sure you feel the same. But man, it was nice turning up here this morning with the sun shining, no burning buildings.
No burning buildings.
You know, it was nice going from like what you had to deal with yesterday to today.
Absolutely.
And just being like, let's just play some Airsoft and let's just, like, this is our last time. Let's have a good time, and, you know, see everyone smiling and things. Like, because what do you do? You just want people to have a good time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good word. Whether you're running a serious milsim
Yeah.
or you're running a skirm day, yeah, you gotta have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is all about the fun, but different people's idea of fun, is different. So we market to a certain
Mhm.
person who loves fun, setting up in the dark in their tent in the rain, and today is about people who just love to get at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and experience getting at it in a different area.
Mhm.
That's unique and and doesn't come up often.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's been awesome so far. And I know that your time is limited because we're literally doing this
Yep.
during the lunch break. So I know that you've got to get back into it. But thank you so much for just taking a moment, sit down, and talking about UX with this crazy graffiti
crazy. It's nuts.
backdrop.
It wasn't here when you were here the first time.
Yeah, and it's fair to say that it was not an airsofter that came here on an event day and did this beautiful graffiti.
No, it definitely wasn't.
That was done during closing time.
Yeah.
But hey, and I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for the entire community, but thanks, Benno, for like everything that you're doing. I know that it can be immensely challenging at time, and quite honestly, sometimes it's shit. It's not always good times and things like that. So I really appreciate your level of resilience and bringing these sites to the community and giving us the opportunity to come here. So thank you.
No problem, Jono. No problem. I think really the last parting words about UX is it's the opportunity to see what's possible. Like I think the reason, and you got starting at the end here, but we're going back to the start. Why did we come here? Why didn't we just stick to the fields, even though we had the opportunity?
Yeah.
Is because I think New Zealand needs to be proud of what it can actually do, rather than what it's not doing and what it couldn't do, so to speak. It can do it because I've done it.
Yeah.
Right? And there's no golden secret or ticket to getting one of these sites. Right? It's just making sure that you're ticking the professional boxes so that you trust. But the trust comes down to the community then, because we have 200 players today, and I have to trust every single one of them that they're going to do the right thing in regards to respecting the property. And I think they've passed, at every game we played here. Whether it's a cultural thing, and the culture of people say, well, you're strict on your rules and you're strict on this, Benno, but it's like, no, because the players have actually gone, all right, this is a cool site, we don't want to lose it, and I want to come back again. And so that sets the tone for the next site. So I think it's what's possible, because I was always, you look at overseas, you look at the YouTubes, you see the Germans running around in those factories, and you see, the Brits and all the older building estates that have closed down, and then you see the Americans at the ranger facilities.
Yeah.
And New Zealanders, you can easily sit there and go, well, we used to have hokey, which was cool. Like I missed that generation, but it was cool. So what have we had since?
Yeah.
Well, not much. Okay. Because there's been challenges, and there's a challenge for everyone. But this was an opportunity to go, well, if we get it right, we go out there, put it out there, this is a rundown former university site. Let's give it a go, and show that the present airsoft in New Zealand to the world.
Yeah.
That we're running and gunning in these really cool areas, and we're doing it legally, we're doing it safely, and it's a lot of fun for everyone here if you're in New Zealand.
Yeah, you're right. And kudos to the community. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely.
Like you can have standards, you can have rules, and you can present yourself in a particular way. But like you say, at the end of the day, you've got 200 players here. So if they can't present themselves in a particular way and respect the site, and the opportunities that they've been given, then it doesn't matter what you do. It's going to have a negative impact. So yeah, absolutely. It's good job on the players that have come and respected your rules, respected this place, and so hopefully that means, and like say, it's presenting airsoft to the community. So then hopefully in the future, like when you or the people beyond us, because we can only do this for so long. So then the legacy is that the airsoft community can continue to approach these people and have these unique opportunities to come play at a place like UX.
Yeah. I mean, airsofting in this modern day and age and coexisting in the middle of suburbia, right? And that's because of the players doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's special. That means we're moving forward.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we need to move forward
Yeah.
because it's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah. Yeah, it is special. It is special. Yeah. So thank you, Benno.
Yeah.
Better let you crack on with the rest of the event.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks to the players. Thanks to the supporters and the sponsors. Yeah. Let's crack on.
And we'll wait to see what comes next with MIA.
Well, I can't tell you, but it's going to be pretty special.
You can tell me once I turn the cameras off.
Yeah. I will. Thanks, Jono.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
All right.
Cool.
That's us.
That's a wrap. That's it.